Diolch, Dipro Llywydd. I am surprised that we are having this debate today because there was no mention of a tourism tax in Welsh Labour's 2016 manifesto, a manifesto on which they were elected as the largest party to this Assembly. When there was a Labour government also elected at UK level, there was a promise not to raise certain taxes, but this promise was broken, and an introduction, a raft of other stealth taxes were introduced when you came into office. Increases in national insurance and council tax became the norm. And I do not want this past behaviour to be replicated or normalised in Wales. I appeal to the Welsh Labour Party and the Welsh Labour Government, therefore, not to prioritise the exploration of a tourism tax, but instead concentrate on implementing the parts of their manifesto that encourage economic growth and the creation of well-paid jobs. These parts of the manifesto which are positive for Wales. The tourist areas within my region, such as Gower and Porthcawl, try to promote the beautiful, unique country that we have, and I want to see the tourist industry in Wales flourish. The Welsh Government's exercise on the tourism tax will continue to divert the resources of government employees, special advisers and the like from implementing your manifesto priorities. So in order to explore a tax that is not a manifesto commitment. Consequently, I support the Conservative motion. It is my firmly held view that we should always strive for a low taxation, giving individuals the opportunity to spend and invest in Wales. Now, it is possible to make a case for a tourism tax, but only in countries that already have a thriving tourist sector and low taxation levels applied to tourists. Such countries will prosper regardless of whether or not there is a tourism tax. This is because they have already engineered the best environment for tourists and businesses in the areas outside of any tourist tax. However, this is not the case in Wales. Wales and the UK is not a low-tax environment for anyone, and especially not for tourists. For approximately 20 years, the UK's VAT rate for the hospitality and tourism sector has remained one of the highest in Europe. Sorry? Does someone want an intervention? Okay. According to a 2014 report by Jeff Ranson of the Cut Tourism VAT campaign group, specifically he reports the UK is the highest in comparison with the other countries, being nearly 3% higher than Germany and over 5.5% compared with Ireland, which is the lowest of the comparator countries, who removed the airport tourist tax on the 1st of April 2014. Consider this report together with the British Hospitality Association's statement made this year that European visitor numbers to the UK are already down due to the increased threat of terrorism. Any suggestion that you can improve Welsh tourism with a tax that may increase prices on tourists would seem far-fetched. According to the Welsh Government, in 2016, tourists spend around £14 million a day whilst in Wales, amounting to £5.1 billion a year. And Professor Annette Pritchard, Director of the Welsh Centre for the Tourism Research at Cardiff Metropolitan University, when speaking to BBC Wales' Week In, Week Out programme, said about tourism in Wales, and I quote, "We are not doing as well internationally as our competitors. We're getting about 3% of visitors and about 2% of spend." This contrasts to us having roughly 5% of the population. So this suggests that Wales is already underperforming on tourism. Wales has much to offer to those who wish to enjoy our splendid countryside and coastlines. Therefore, any tax that increases the cost of visiting Wales is likely to reduce tourism in an already underperforming sector that is situated in an overall high-tax environment. If we consider consumer spending habits, price and cost is usually, if not always, a factor as to whether someone makes a purchase, and tourism is no different to this. This vitally important industry must be protected, encouraged to grow and encouraged to improve its performance. It should not be squeezed with any more tax. Anthony Rosser, Chair of the British Hospitality Association in Wales and manager of a hotel in Wales, said in a recent interview about any proposed tax, "It would be an utterly retrograde move. We have very real worries over the recent cauldron of costs that have boiled over the last 18 months, including increases in business rates, rising inflation and food and energy hikes. Increasing costs like this will be handing an unfair advantage to our competitors." Finally, it might be said that the tourism tax could be set to a very low level, perhaps £1 a night. Indeed, the Bevan Foundation, who are not part of the Welsh Government, made this suggestion in a recent blog post and other reports, and they said that such a levy could be capped by Welsh Government. My concern about this is it leaves a door ajar that could be pushed wide open by Government. Yes, I am. Thanks, Sam. Deputy Presiding Officer. Our tourist industry must not be encumbered by a tourism tax, let alone an ever-increasing tax within the high-tax UK and Welsh environment. So I hope, with the considerations that I have put forward today, independently of the modelling of any Welsh Government economist, show that the Welsh tourism industry does not need the tax, does not want the tax and deserves much better.